Dick, you have that interview, remember? You better be dressed this time. Just because they can't see your bottoms doesn't mean you should leave your todger out.
Oh, I'm ready. Oh. Ratatua, 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 ratatua.
Ah! Professor Featherby! Wasn't expecting you until 10. Must have the times confused. Can I get you anything? Tea? Maybe some coffee?
Well, I couldn't say no to a coffee, you know, but not since the cracker sparrows.
That is awfully early. Now listen, I'm afraid I only have international roast. Now you see, my secretary, she...
You better make it a national post coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, but seriously, do you know what? A cup of coffee that would send me around the world, yes, please. And do you know what? You'd have to make it a big one while you're at it. I've got a big day of interviews lined up, you know, an enormous day ahead of me.
Marvellous. Well, I'll just get my secretary. She's just joining in the next room. Daisy! Won't be long.
Now, if I could just ask you a quick question. Before you came in, what was it you called me?
Just before...
You know, probably about 16 seconds ago. Professor Feather.
Featherby!
Ah, that's the one. Sounds rather avion, doesn't it?
Well, I should hope so. You are the chairman of the Avid Birdwatchers Association.
Come again?
Oh, you're here to verify my spotted flycatcher.
Oh, is that what you call it?
Sorry?
Don't be sorry. I'll verify your spotted flycatcher. Should we shut the blinds first?
The blinds?
Yeah, so I can verify your spotted flycatcher.
Well, I can't. They see they're a little bit sticky, so, you know.
Sticky? What do you mean they're sticky? When you're in a box,
Well, it's in the closet.
well, it should be out of the closet.
Yeah, but it can't because... Never mind. I'm far too busy to be discussing mops. Now, Professor, if you could just take a look at my photograph.
What the dickens are you talking about?
The photograph of the spotted flycatcher. Rarest bird this side of the hemisphere. I thought I made it quite clear on the phone.
Oh, because you thought I was Professor Featherby.
You are Professor Featherby, aren't you?
Am I?
Well, you just said...
I said nothing of the sorts. Do you know what? Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever met a Professor Featherby. It's a rather avion-sounding name, isn't it?
Yeah, you've already mentioned that, so you're not the professor.
Never have, never will. So, can I take a peek at your spotted flycatcher?
No!
Why not?
Who are you then?
I'm your 9 o'clock sir, otherwise known as Richard Perkins, newspaperman extraordinaire. Although I do prefer Mr. Perkins or Lord Dicky, if you're feeling a bit naughty.
Well, Mr. Perkins, you'll forgive me for my nonsense. I've had quite an arduous morning. Bus to the office was awfully slow.
Forgiven and, oh, actually, before we actually get into the thick of it, let me just wonder. You're wearing Italian leather shoes.
I believe so. How did you know that?
Ah, well, size 10?
11.
Oh, very close. See, what I like to do for every interview and every time I meet someone new, I guess what sort of shoes they're wearing. It tells me about their character. It's fascinating, is it not?
Yeah, you're very.
It's fascinating, is it not?
Yeah, you're very. Do you mind?
Mind what? Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
No.
Well, what should I call you then?
Sorry?
Your name. Everyone has one. What is it? Do you know what? I am prepared to make up a name if so requires. I've always fancied Edmund. It's a murderously bamboozled name for a spiffing gentleman like yourself.
Jerry Mobley. Mr. Mobley's fine. Rather preferred, actually. Daisy!
Look, do you think we could get started soon? I mean, I've got a big day of interviews lined up. I've got big ones, small ones, thin ones, morbidly obese ones. But what do they all have in common? They all want me. Never seen a newspaper man as bright as me, no sirree.
Yes, we can get started just as soon as Daisy!
Would it help if I shouted as well? I've been told my voice is louder than a caffeinated toddler on Christmas Eve. Daisy! Told you. My, you're a delicate little flower, aren't you? Right, don't tell me. I'm going to get size 5 red heels. Nothing too over the top, but certainly something to make an entrance.
This is Daisy, my secretary.
Your 9 o'clock has arrived, sir, and I left your shirt on the desk behind you.
Marvellous.
What, 9 o'clock? But I'm your 9 o'clock. You can't have 2 9 o'clocks.
Shall I close my eyes, sir?
No, not necessary.
Oh, if she can't, I certainly will.
Oh, and send her in, would you, Daisy?
Of course.
Her? Oh, didn't Daisy tell you? This is a joint interview. I'm in a bit of a rush, you see, and, well, what's that saying? Ah, yes, 2 pigeons with 1 stone.
Oh, sure, yes, and a great saying. One could say a tad specific. But you see, Jerry...
Mr. Mowgli.
Sure, Jerry, it's not that I don't like you. Well, rather, I don't know 2 puffins about you. But I was under the impression, well, due to a lack of communication, that I was due to be interviewed solo. Do you know what? Have you considered firing Daisy? She seems rather incompetent.
Why would I fire her? Daisy's my best secretary.
Well, yes, we could go back and forth over what we agree best is, but while we've got a couple of sprightly seconds before her comes in, I'd like to talk to you about the time I interviewed one Lady Partridge. It was an interview I got quite a prestigious award for. I won. Well, nearly won. I came second. Well, third.
Lady Partridge, that doesn't ring a bell. What newspaper was this in?
The Birkin Weekly. Terrible name, I know. Apparently it's some sort of soap. I tried to change it, but corporate doesn't look too fondly on people trying to change the company name without permission.
I see.
So, long story short, I briefly lost my job, had to beg on the streets, almost sold both my kidneys, until I realised you needed at least one. And then I found this story.
So, this is Lady Partridge woman. She saved your career.
Not only did she save me, she invigorated me. Found a whole new world out there just for me.
And what was this world?
Well, 2 words. Women's Institute. Heroic women serving jam on the front line.
You reported on jam.
And pies.
Jam and pies? I'd hardly call that news.
And cakes.
What?
Jams and pies and cakes. Oh, I even learned how to make the perfect Victoria sponge, but I knew this would come up, so bear with me and I'll show you. First of all, obviously need the appropriate apron for the job.
Yeah. Let me get this straight. A serious crime reporter like yourself reported on jams and pies and cakes.
And you know what? For a brief period, brandy snaps until... Hey! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh. Vinegar. Oh, well, they drank all the brandy and I forgot how to make the snaps.
I have no idea what are you doing?
Oh, do you know what? They even had an annual competition too. The Great Bake Off for the British and British inclined. Oh, I was even a judge one year. Oh, Lord Dicky, the soggy bottom slayer. That's what they called me, and not just behind my back.
Oh, wait, so what was so special about this Lady Partridge then?
Well, she was the underdog, of course. Didn't have a devil's chance of winning. Buttercream. Buttercream, they said. You must be insane. But do you think she listened to them? No, sirree. She couldn't give a flying fig leaf what those old hags had to say to her. She spent 4 fortnights perfecting the recipe. Oh, lost all her friends, family, even her house. Do you know what? She was this close to losing both her kidneys, God, until I told her she certainly needed both. And then the day the competition came, poor old dear was awfully nervous. But the judges loved it. Smooth as a crumpet's bomb, they said. Oh, with enough vanilla to keep a dentist in business.
So, she won.
No, turns out she'd laced the buttercream laxative. Lulam ran for miles, but you see, it made for a great story. A winning story. So I marched straight to the Berkeley Weekly and I said...
Hello, Richard. I apologise for being late. I would say bad traffic, but I've never seen it this good. The bus was positively titillating.
Sorry about that. What in the devil are you doing here?
Well, I'm a newspaper man like you, aren't I?
Yes?
And I lost my job like you, didn't I?
Yes?
And I have bills to pay like you, don't I?
Yes.
Mystery solved, Lord Dicky. Now, Jerry, I don't have my resume, but I,
Prefer you call me Mr. Mobley.
I'm sorry, what was that, Jerry?
Never mind.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, the resume. See, while the bus was exceptionally titillating, so too was my resume. It whooshed right out the door, jumped across the road and onto the next bus to Gatwick. But it's okay, though. I have an excellent memory and wardrobe to boot. Same couldn't be said about the unruly gentleman beside me. He's beside me, isn't he, Jerry?
Actually, Elaine, I think you'll find that, as per usual, you're on top.
And do you not own an iron?
Wait, do you two know each other?
She's my wife, I'm her husband, we're happily married. We have 5 kids, 6 ferrets and 30 cats.
We have no kids, no ferrets, and certainly no cats, but I do believe I called you a pissy one.
Twice, actually.
What?
We were divorced twice.
Oh, yes, that's right. Turns out the first judge wasn't actually a judge. Well, he thought he was, but he wasn't. I think he was mad, which is sad.
What's that?
That he was mad.
All right.
It took us 3 months to realise we were still married. God, nearly had a heart attack.
But I did find the second judge, my Uncle Ernest.
It only took you 3 months.
Not my fault he went to prison. I didn't ask him to drop his pants on that school bus.
It isn't entirely his fault. I mean, he wasn't wearing a belt that day, only took one corner and whoosh, down they went.
Wasn't wearing underpants either.
Well, how was he to know the old hag would call the cops?
He sentenced himself, you know.
3 months and 2 days. If only he was the first judge.
Oh, but he was the second.
But he could have been the first, and we would have missed this entire incident.
Those pants could have dropped at any time, and you know that.
Well, maybe if his mother told him to wear a belt.
All right, look, while I appreciate both of you taking time out of your busy schedules to come to this interview, I just don't think this is going to work. I'm sure there are plenty of people willing to hire people like you.
Daisy,
what's the matter?
Listen, this is really terrible thing that's happened. I'm really sorry. No,
Daisy, your camera's off. Can you just get the picture? I can't see you. I can't see what you... Daisy, Daisy, what? Now I can't hear you. Daisy, what are you trying to say? Daisy!
Oh, she's dead.
Who?
A woman.
What kind of woman?
A dead one.
Who would kill a woman today? It's so nice out.
Oh, Richard, let her speak. Go on, dear.
The police, they just found a dead body, a dead woman in a room.
What kind of room?
Bedroom.
And how dead? Hours? Minutes? Seconds?
I'm not sure.
Be certain, Daisy, your life depends on it.
Oh, shut up, Dick. What was the cause of death, dear?
They say a knife.
And who's they?
The review.
Damn it! Those bastards got there before us. Daisy, get my coat. I've got to go.
We're on Zoom.
Oh, you stay right here, mister. I know what you're going to do, and I won't allow it. Not without me. Daisy, get my coat. Oh, right.
Hi, I'm Becca,
And I'm Emily.
and we're the co-producers of Quintuple Live.
We would really love it if you'd watch our scratch performances and give us a review.
They're only 15 minutes long, and if you leave feedback on all 4, you'll be entered into a prize draw for a £50 voucher.
Thank you so much for supporting us. We're a small independent theatre company. We and all of our wonderful directors and actors don't work for profit.
And if you're able to donate just the cost of a cup of coffee, perhaps £3, please do click the link below, as it will help keep us running.
And continue developing these fantastic shows into full productions.
Thank you.